الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. قال الله تعالى: وأيوب إذ نادى ربه أني مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين فاستجبنا له فكشفنا ما به من ضر وآتيناه أهله ومثلهم معهم رحمة من عندنا وذكرى للعابدين. In Sūrah al-Anbiyāʻ, the Sūrah is called the Sūrah of the Prophets, and you'll see in the second quarter Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions quite a few prophets. He says, for example, وَنُوحًا إِذْ نَادَى مِن قَبْلُ فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ فَنَجَّيْنَاهُ وَأَهْلَهُ مِنَ الْكَرْبِ الْعَظِيمِ. And again he's talking about Ayyūb, وَأَيُّوبَ إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ. And then he says, وَذَنُّونِ إِذْ ذَهَبَ مُغَاضِبًا فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ وَنَجَّيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْغَمِّ فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُ يَحْيَى. That all of these prophets, they know that the only way to obtain something is to call out and plead towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And after their plea, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always responding with فَاسْتَجَبْنَا. So that's why you'll see, I'll be reciting this verse 4 or 5 times, فَاسْتَجَبْنَا فَاسْتَجَبْنَا فَاسْتَجَبْنَا. Not because I want to repeat the same verse, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after every single prophet story, He mentions that we answered their call. We removed them, we gave them this, we removed their affliction. So the fastajabna I want to talk about is of Ayyūb alayhi salam. Ayyūb alayhi salam, he was a Rumi, he was a Roman, and he's from the children of Ishaq, sons of Ibrahim alayhi salam. His mother was from the descendants of Lut alayhi salam. And this individual, Ayyūb alayhi salam, was granted many blessings. Many blessings. As far as his own family goes, he was granted 7 sons and 7 daughters. Okay? 7 sons and 7 daughters. Then 300 camels. Okay. 7,000 cattle, 7,000. Okay. 500 oxen yokes. Okay, those are things that you place on top of the oxens. On top of that, he had 500 slaves that would, herd all of these animals. And every single slave had a wife, and every single slave had a child, and every single slave had some, basically, a gift basket from Ayyūb alayhi salam of fruits, date palms. So these are some of the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed upon Ayyūb alayhi salam. Then he was tested. As is the divine promise, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions, أَشَدُّ النَّاسِ بَلَاءً الْأَنْبِيَاء ثُمَّ الْأَمْثَلُ فَالْأَمْثَلُ. That the individuals that are tested the most are the prophets. That's why we look at them as our role models. Individuals in this life, yes, they're tested as well. But we always connect with individuals that are tested more than us, or tested in the same degree than us. For example, if an individual is they go to prison and they're wronged. So they connect to the story of Yusuf alayhi salam more than maybe one of us who's never been to prison connect with the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. Why am I saying this? Because I remember I talked to individuals from prison, and they tell me how much they connect with the story of Yusuf alayhi salam, and how they were oppressively put in prison as well. As for the story of Ayyūb alayhi salam, I think many of us can connect with it in one way, shape or form. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested Ayyūb alayhi salam with his own kids, with his wealth, with his own body, with his own jism. And he lost everything one by one by one. He lost all of those animals that he had, all of that land that he had, all of his children, sons and daughters, one by one lost all of them. And then his own body, he started having more and more diseases on his body, skin diseases, other issues. And for 18 years this lasted. Not for 18 days or a few weeks. No, 18 years this issue in his body, this skin problem and other issues with his body remained. The only person that stayed next to him throughout all of these trials, everybody else left. Everybody's there, mashallah, when you're on the pedestal and you're, mashallah, you have this rank and you have this much money, everybody wants to be with you. But when you lose all of that, nobody wants to be with you. Only those sincere people that will be with you. Only those sincere individuals that are left. Who is that? That was his wife. That was his wife. And she came to him one day after seeing that he's in such suffering. And he said, لو دعوت الله عز وجل. He said, why don't you just make dua to Allah? Because he knew the dua of a prophet is accepted, right? لو دعوت الله عز وجل. Why don't you just make dua to Allah? فقالت كم كانت مدة الرخاء. How long was I in good health and in comforts and in luxury for? She said 80 years. In some narrations said 70 years. The one I was reading is 80 years. So he said فقال أنا أستحيي من الله أن أدعوه وما بلغت مدة بلائي مدة رخائي. That I feel shy making, pleading towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala until the amount of days that I was in luxury is equal to the amount of days that I'm in sickness. So until I'm sick for 80 years, or until I'm in pain for 80 years, I don't feel comfortable. He gave me 80 years of luxury and 80 years of health, and I feel a little shameful. I feel a little shy to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we saw that this type of shyness also, remember, with the Prophet ﷺ when he went on Isra and Mi'raj, when he went to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he met Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he decreased the salah 5, and he kept on saying, Musa alayhi salam kept on meeting him, keep on, go back, your ummah won't be able to handle this 50 salah. This is a little bit too much for them. It's a little bit too much for them. So he said, once he got to 5, he said, okay, I can't do more than that. I can't go ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I feel shy asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more. Okay, it's a good quality to have. It's a good quality. فلما كشف الله عنه أحياه ولده بأعيانهم ورزقه مثلهم معهم. After that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removed his affliction. Remember we said in the beginning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala وَأَيُّوبَ إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ. He called out towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أَنِّي مَسَّنِيَ الضُّرُّ. That adversity has afflicted me. وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. You are the individual that is the most merciful amongst those that show mercy. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replaced, He gave him children. Other narrations mention that He gave him even more children, gave him health, gave him wealth. And the Prophet Ayyūb alayhi salam, he made a statement. He said, Alhamdulillahi alladhi hina a'tani wa hina naza'a minni. That all praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who has given me all of these blessings, and also the one who has taken these blessings away from me as well. عُرْيَانًا خَرَجْتُ مِنْ بَطْنِ أُمِّي. I came out from the womb of my mother, without any clothes. وَعُرْيَانًا أَعُودُ فِي التُّرَابِ. And I'm going to return to the dirt without any clothes. I'm just going to have a white sheet over me. That's it. وَعُرْيَانًا أَحْشَرُ إِلَى اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. And also on the day when we're all going to be resurrected and we're all going to be on that flat plane, we're all going to be naked. Not going to have any clothing. We're not going to be able to tell who's rich and who's poor. We're not going to be able to tell how strong this individual was or how strong this individual was. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He blesses and He gives ni'mas and He gives tests to whom He wills. And in this state, this is the wording that Ayyūb alayhi salam chose. while he was in the state of this affliction, he said, وَأَيُّوبَ إِذْ نَادَى رَبَّهُ أَنِّي مَسَّنِيَ الضُّرُّ وَأَنْتَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ. That, oh Allah, adversity has hit me, but you are the one that is most merciful. So what is he saying? He's describing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How is he describing Allah? Arhamur Rahimin. That you are the one that is most merciful. That's how he's describing Allah. Now, and he's kind of, not directly asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remove this. He's just saying, adversity hit me, and you are the most merciful. And that's how he left it at. He didn't say, oh Allah, remove this affliction from me. No. Again, he didn't say that directly. Okay, so still paying attention to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is how the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala respond to adversity. This is the role model that we have. These are the role models that we have. We can't be from amongst this other group where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in Surah Al-Hajj, verse number 11, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى حَرْفٍ فَإِنَّ أَصَابَهُ خَيْرٌ اطْمَأَنَّ بِهِ. That you have individuals who are worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the edge. If they have goodness come to them, then they're content. اطْمَأَنَّ بِهِ. وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ فِتْنَةٌ انقلب على وجهه. When they're struck with trial, then they forget about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they become non-Muslim. خسر الدنيا والآخرة. They're losers in this life, and they're most definitely losers in the next life. ذلك هو الخسران المبين. That's a clear loss. Those individuals, that's a clear loss. Yes, it's great to have received ni'mas from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, receive blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how do we respond to that? We respond with gratitude towards Allah. And when He tests us with afflictions, and He tests us with things that aren't so rosy, then how do we respond? We respond with patience. We respond with the patience, like how Ayyūb alayhi salam responded with patience. Why? Why are we doing that? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ فَكَشَفْنَا مَا بِهِ مِنْ ضُرٍّ وَآتَيْنَاهُ أَهْلَهُ وَمِثْلَهُمْ مَعَهُمْ رَحْمَةً مِنْ عِنْدِنَا. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He responds. After every single complaint, dua, He says, we remove their affliction. We remove that affliction. فَكَشَفْنَا مَا بِهِ مِنْ ضُرٍّ. That adversity that he had, we removed that completely. وَآتَيْنَاهُ أَهْلَهُ. And we gave him family members. وَمِثْلَهُمْ مَعَهُمْ. And we gave him the likes of what he had before. رَحْمَةً مِنْ عِنْدِنَا. As a mercy from us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't have to. Remember, we talked about this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't have to accept our du'as. And if He doesn't, we're going to get something better anyways in the next life. Right? That's our belief. وَذِكْرَى لِلْعَابِدِينَ. Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do this? He did this because He knows that we as human beings, we see adversity, and once we're hit with adversity, we crumble down. Some of us can't handle it. Some of us get crushed and we crumble down and we collapse. So why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala show that He can give you this? He says, وَذِكْرَى لِلْعَابِدِينَ يعني رحمة لأيوب وتذكرة لغير من العابدين ليصبروا كصبره فيثابك وثوابه. He sent this as a reminder towards the worshippers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave this as a reminder to them because He's showing that He will send down mercy toward Ayyūb alayhi salam. He sent down mercy towards Ayyūb alayhi salam as a reminder that if you stay steadfast and you stay strong on the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you show patience like how he showed patience, as Ayyūb alayhi salam did, then you will be rewarded just like how he was rewarded. You will be rewarded just like how he was rewarded. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to show patience when we are afflicted with adversity. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward us in this life and in the next. But we always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for afiyah. Remember that. We always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to not test us with these afflictions. We ask Him for well-being. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun ala al-mursaleen.